Happy New Year! Boy, do I have a surprise for you. I'm in South Carolina at 5-Star Tuning, and the boys here at 5-Star just purchased a slew of 2020 Super Duty trucks. This is a two-part series. Right here I have two diesel Super Duty trucks, the older one and the brand new 2020. In this video, part one, we're gonna find out exact difference, stock versus stock, on the new Power Stroke diesel. But that's not all. Come back very soon because we're also gonna find out exactly how much power the brand new 7.3 liter Godzilla V8 puts down in a comparison against the 6.2 liter gas truck. Well, let's get going. This episode is brought to you by our friends at 5-Star Tuning, HP Tuners, and of course the N-Gauge device. If you want a little bit more power in your truck, check them out using the link below. This is as close of an apples to apples comparison as the guys at 5-Star can make it. This is an XLT Crew Cab 4-wheel drive 2019 brand new truck with a diesel. And this truck is a Crew Cab diesel 4-wheel drive STX. Of course, also with a diesel. Here's how you can quickly tell that this is a 2019 previous generation Super Duty, and it's the headlights. It's very squared off, and this is where the grille meets the headlight, and that's immediately to tell you that this is either 2017, 2018, or 2019. And under the hood is what Ford calls their second generation 6.7 liter Power Stroke turbo diesel, and the factory rating at the crank is 450 horsepower and 935 pound-feet of torque, and it's made it to a 6-speed automatic transmission. And here we're going to find out exactly what kind of power it puts down to the wheels in the real world. But before we do that, we have to hook up the laser monitor and talk about gear ratios.
So in this application, we're using a laser tachometer. We put a piece of this reflective tape straight on the crankshaft pulley.
Okay.
And that gives us a 1-to-1 on our laser pickup. So every time our piece of tape passes over that laser, it reads the crank and gives us a revolution.
So very precise RPM measurement.
Correct.
Basically.
And a way to do it consistently.
One of the biggest changes between the 2019 trucks and the 2020 Super Duties is actually the transmission and also the rear end gear ratios. Here how it breaks down. The new 10-speed looks like this. First gear is a 4.62 ratio, and the 7th gear is 1-to-1. Everything else, 8th, 9th, and 10th is overdrive gears. So in the 2020 trucks, we'll be running in 7th gear to get the most consistent numbers. But for 2019 trucks, especially the diesels, the 6-speed heavy-duty transmission was used, and we're running it in 5th gear. The 2019 truck, the diesel, has a 355 rear end, and this is the gear ratio in 5th. Effective ratio is 3.02, and we're running approximately 95 miles an hour on the dyno. About the same speed for the 2020, and they're within about 9% of each other. 3.31 on the 2020 truck and 3.02 on the 2019. This is as close as we can get with the different transmissions and different rear axle ratios.
We're really happy with these results. It's a stock truck. It's a nice cool morning. It performed very healthily. So it's consistent above all. It's 409, 410, 411, 897, 903, and 902. So it stacked 3 runs right on top of each other. So what we've done on this one is we're running the truck in 5th gear. And in 5th gear, we want a 5.5 to 6 second run.
Okay.
And to achieve that, we run a 30% load on the dyno, which means our dyno's brake is electrically loaded down to elongate the run.
Okay.
And that lets the truck build its boost, that lets the truck, run the way it would in the real world on a longer pull.
Okay.
And give us a consistent number that we could use to review. So
and the numbers we're talking about are at the wheels.
Correct.
And they're also corrected.
Correct. There's a standard correction factor that all dynos run by, and what we've done on ours just to make sure it's industry standard. It's been checked out, everything's working properly, and it's as accurate as it can be.
All right, well, let's run the new one, the 2020.
Yeah, let's get the 2020.
That's a working truck right there. Here's how you can tell a 2020 Super Duty. Once again, it's the headlight. Check it out. It looks very similar from a distance, but all of a sudden this is no longer squared and the grille is different. And that's a clue that there is a new diesel hiding behind the grille. This happens to be, from the factory, the most powerful pickup truck engine out there, period. 475 horsepower and 1,050 pound-feet of torque. And this new third generation Power Stroke is backed up by a 10-speed automatic transmission. The displacement on the new diesel is the same, 6.7 liters, but Ford says they changed the turbocharger, the fuel system, the pistons, and several other components to make this engine more powerful and, according to them, more fuel efficient. That's the first run, stock 2020 diesel, to the wheels.
So we had 3 runs, again, lay straight on top of each other.
Okay.
Consistency is key there. About a 470 horse and 970 torque average.
But that is to the wheels.
Correct, to the wheels.
What are the losses in the driveline? About 20%, is that fair to
20%
say?
is a fair estimation of drivetrain loss based on what we've known from previous models.
Yeah.
But this is a new transmission. It might have less.
So,
it should
okay.
be more efficient.
Yeah, but still, dude, they're advertising 475 horse at the crank.
Correct. I guess time will tell when we do more testing, more logging, because we can't see inside of it yet.
Okay.
So we don't know for sure, and
Okay.
we'll have to wait and see what more testing gives us.
But that is monstrous.
It is, and it drives like that.
I'm still in a bit of a shock because we're talking stock to stock.
Correct.
There's no tuning involved here,
Correct.
right?
It carries the horsepower and the torque a lot farther in that RPM range than the previous one does.
So what's happening here before 2,000 RPM on the graph?
It's hard to say exactly because we haven't been able to read a stock file and see what's going on with the transmission yet.
Okay.
But from the driver's seat, it feels like the torque converter is not 100% locked up until you
Okay.
get up to about 2400 RPM in the 2020, and in the 2019 it feels much more locked down low.
Okay. And then it just continues to build power.
Correct.
In the 2020
And once
truck.
it's locked up, it's putting down the power number we see where it surpasses the 19 truck.
So right here at 2,500 RPM, you can see the torque number. That's the difference I was talking about. It's about 130 pound-feet of torque. After 3 times on the dyno, the old 2019 diesel put down an average of 410 maximum horsepower at the wheels and 901 pound-feet of torque. Considering about 20% losses at the wheel, this old 2019 diesel is already way underrated from the factory according to these numbers. But listen to this, on the 2020 Super Duty diesel, the average horsepower to the wheel was 469 and average torque was 972 pound-feet of torque. Well, there you have it. The 2020 diesel showed approximately 59 extra horsepower to the wheels and about 71 additional pound-feet of torque. But come back very soon, where I'm gonna show you how the new 7.3 gas V8 engine compares to the 6.2 liter gas engine. And of course, go back to tfltruck.com for more news, views, and real-world truck reviews.